不要把所有以色列人都和纳坦雅胡以及他们现在在巴勒斯坦的作为画上等号。一位以色列的公务人员，他是在管囚犯的，他冒着他个人的生命危险，变成吹哨者，拍下了2张照片，交给了美国有线电视网。他所拍的照片的地点呢，是位于以色列附近的沙漠，一个叫做 Sadi Timon 的军事基地，在那个地方有一个拘留中心。目前为止，根据统计，有将近上万名的巴勒斯坦人被以色列人拘留，其中有一些人根本就是嫌疑犯，意思是说他还没有正式的被判刑。但这些嫌疑犯呢，他们的处境是什么？第一个，在照片里头显示，他们被蒙住眼睛，垂着头，坐在薄如纸的床垫上，周围铁丝网。他们被告知不准乱动，不准说话，必须坐直，不准在蒙着眼睛的情况里头彼此偷看。不听话的人就被惩罚。3名以色列的吹哨者描绘了一个残酷的画面。这些囚犯因为戴着手铐，他们的手铐呢很粗糙，所以严重受伤。有的人就不得不截肢，空气中弥漫着伤口腐烂的气味。其中一名吹哨者告诉美国有线电视网，他被带到这个基地的野战医院，要求治疗囚犯。可是那里的人根本没有医生的资格，而且这些囚犯都是在没有麻醉的情况底下进行手术，对他们来说，这是不敢想象的事情。可是对以色列政府来讲，这些人都是恐怖分子，他们本来就该死，他们的生命不应该拥有所谓的人权，因此不被麻醉而进行截肢是他们应该享有的一个待遇。然后根据半岛电视台的统计，目前有9500名的巴勒斯坦人被关押在以色列的监狱里头，而美国有线电视网的报道是还没有排除嫌疑被拘留的人，至少也有3600人，直接统计起来有将近1万人左右。这是集中营在线吗？
这是一名勇敢的以色列吹哨者，冒着坐牢的危险拍下照片。他决心将自己祖国的恶行公诸于世。
CNN exclusive. Stark accusations. The Palestinian detainees have been abused by Israeli troops, and these are claims coming from inside Israel's military. The accusations surround a shadowy detention facility in the Negev desert. 3 Israeli whistleblowers who have worked at the prison are describing a systemic pattern of abuse that includes sensory deprivation, beatings, and torture. They tell CNN they are speaking out now as a matter of conscience.
It's a place the Israeli military doesn't want us to see. But CNN has gained exclusive evidence of Palestinian prisoner abuse from multiple Israeli whistleblowers. Away from the military facility, near the beaches of Tel Aviv, one young Israeli army reservist agreed to speak about scores of detainees at Sedi Timan. He says are kept in cages or pens, constantly shackled and blindfolded, many for weeks on end. We've hidden his identity and voice to shield him from prosecution.
We were told they are not allowed to move and must sit upright. They're not allowed to talk or peek under their blindfolds.
And what happened if they did do that? What kind of punishments were meted out?
We were allowed to pick out problematic people and punish them, having them stand with their hands above their heads for an unlimited time. If they didn't keep their hands up, we could zip tie them to the fence.
照片中，囚犯被蒙住了眼睛，坐在薄如纸的床垫上。爆料者说，空气中弥漫着腐臭的味道，现场只听得到男人的低语声，因为禁止互相交谈，囚犯只能自言自语。照片证实了吹哨者的指控，也与2023年 CNN 另一组记者所拍到的画面相符。
Bruised, lacerated, and swollen. These are the hands of Nimr Abu Ras after he was detained for 5 days by Israeli forces.
These are from the plastic wires. We were handcuffed behind our backs.
Mahmoud is just 14 years old.
This is from the boots. Depending on the mood of one of them, they would come kick you with their boots. I didn't do anything to him. He just decided to come and kick me.
他的证词与以色列吹哨者证词对上了。
One Israeli guard now tells CNN prisoners are routinely beaten. We've hidden his identity and voice too.
You can take them out and hit them maybe 4 or 5 times with a club. It's not done in the face, so you don't see blood. The detainees lie belly down, being hit and kicked, people screaming and dogs barking at them. It's terrifying. Some detainees are taken away and beaten really hard, so bones and teeth are broken.
So you saw people who were subject to these beatings, who had their bones broken and who had their teeth broken?
Yes, it's a practice which commanders know about. They want intelligence, but they also want revenge and punishment for what happened on October 7th.
更惊悚的证词还在后面。
Well, we're driving now to meet one Israeli with personal experience of the Sadeh Tayman facility. It's experience that he says has left him shocked at the condition and the medical treatment of Palestinian detainees there. He told us he treated Palestinian detainees with gunshot wounds fresh from the war zone in Gaza, but was appalled at the lack of equipment and expertise.
The problem is, Gazans who are brought in are labeled as terrorists, and it is very popular opinion over here that terrorists deserve to die, so they do not deserve the same medical care as everyone else.
Satellite imagery obtained by CNN shows how the Sedi Taman facility was expanded after the October 7th attacks, with detention facilities and makeshift medical bays being added after public hospitals in Israel refused to treat injured Gazan suspects. Eyewitness accounts describe a field hospital with 15 to 20 patients, virtually naked and blindfolded, with hands and feet shackled to their beds and wearing diapers. One eyewitness told CNN painful procedures were carried out by underqualified medics. Treatment the medical worker told us amounts to punishment.
In my view, it's the idea of total vulnerability. If you imagine being unable to move, being unable to see what's going on, that's something that borders, if not crosses, into psychological torture.
One source telling us the restraints were so tight they had to amputate a man's hand.
The view that I've heard expressed is that, how do you think Israeli hostages are treated by Hamas?
This sentiment was voiced in the facility, but I think that if Hamas is so abominable, which I agree with, then why use Hamas as a bar? It's a descent into dehumanization.
A descent that's accelerated since the rampage by Hamas on October the 7th last year. The killing and abduction to Gaza of hundreds of Israelis provoked outrage and a brutal response. Amid Israel's wrath, tens of thousands of Palestinians have been killed and thousands detained for interrogation, transported to facilities like Seder Taman.
CNN 决定亲自问问当事人的意见。
The Israeli military hasn't approved CNN's requests for access to Sedi Taman. But at the gates of the facility, we challenged the Israeli guards.
How many Palestinians are in there right now? We don't know. I prefer to run the answer. Do you know if they're being handcuffed? Are they being blindfolded? No.
This is a facility.
As we leave, masked soldiers approach.
Hello, how are you?
Stop filming, please.
I'm filming this place.
It's a property
of the army.
Oh,
so
who are you guys from CNN?
Give me please.
They tried to take our cameras.
Give me please now. Give me please now.
Hang on, what is it that you want? My camera or my card?
Then order us to leave.
对于越来越多的虐囚证据，以色列军方是这么说的
In a statement, the Israeli Defence Force said mistreatment of detainees is absolutely prohibited. They denied unsubstantiated claims of sexual abuse and sleep deprivation and said the IDF acts in accordance with Israeli and international law.
以色列国防军所说的依法，依的是以色列2023年12月通过的非法战斗人员法。该法允许军方可以在没有逮捕令的情况下，任意将人拘留45天。根据半岛电视台的统计，目前约有9500名的巴勒斯坦人关押在以色列监狱里。至于像 CNN 报道中的那些只是尚未排除嫌疑的人，也有3600多人。有没有违反国际法，不是以色列说了算。
International law is quite clear that you can only detain civilians when absolutely necessary for imperative reasons of security, whether the detention is of a civilian or a combatant. The law protects those in detention and custody against degrading and humiliating treatment and outrages upon personal dignity.
人权组织5月最新统计，自10月7日以来，已有18名巴勒斯坦人死于拘留当中。
I think what's really interesting about this investigation that it's Israeli citizens who are increasingly disputing that. Remember, the whistleblowers that we spoke to in this report are not sort of pro-Palestinian protesters. These are Israeli citizens. They're people who have served or who are serving with the Israeli military or alongside the Israeli military in Gaza. And they're increasingly uncomfortable with what they've been asked to do. And so I think it could have real resonance inside Israel.